Welcome back to Your Art is a Spell. This is season 2. We are beginning this season in an incredibly difficult moment in our country, in our world. There is so much happening all over the place. I know that many of us are needing support, guidance, connection. And so I've decided to come back with season 2 with this powerful theme in mind, reclaiming our sovereignty, our agency, our power, pulling back our energy from these systems that are trying so hard to distract us, to make us feel powerless and hopeless. I am here to imbue your energies, your bodies, your ears with some hope, with some love, with some magic, and hopefully with some fun as we move into this season with so much happening. I'm literally a couple of days away from traveling to Berlin. I'm going to be doing an artist residency called the Human Machine Residency. I'm going to be connecting with some sacred objects of the Birarica community that were collected in the 1920s. I'm also going to be traveling, visiting different countries, connecting with art and artists from all over the world, and I want to bring you along with me. And today we have something really special. I'm about to head out to the desert, to Palm Springs, for an opening of an exhibition that I feel so honored to be a part of. I want to bring you all along on this journey. I'm a part of an exhibition called Queer Arcana. It is 30 plus queer, trans, and gender expansive artists who are all witchy and magical. And I feel so excited to be able to go on this journey with you all, to bring you all along as I go and experience this art and connect with some of the artists who are involved in the exhibition, the curators, and people who are there to visit the show. As always, I really appreciate your feedback, your comments. Please know I'm so excited to bring you all season 2 of Your Art is a Spell. There's so much magic waiting for us in this season. I have some incredible guests coming that I'm going to be speaking with. I'm also working on an exciting workshop and a book that I'm going to be talking about in a couple of episodes, so stay tuned. And without further ado, here we go to Palm Springs. Okay, we are here in Palm Springs. It took us about 4 hours to get here yesterday. For some reason, there was a lot of traffic getting into the desert. I don't know why, but it normally takes about 2.5 hours from Los Angeles to get into Palm Springs. But yeah, it took us a little over 4 hours, which is why I didn't record anything yesterday. But we were able to stop in Claremont and do like a mini studio visit with an artist who's completing their MFA there, which was really wonderful. And it did break up the long trip that we had yesterday. But oh my goodness, I am so excited to show you all this incredible exhibition that opened up last night at the Palm Springs Art Museum. It was such a synchronous event. One of the first things that happened when I arrived last night was that I saw a professor of mine from my undergrad that I haven't seen in a little over 20 years and ran into some wonderful friends, met some new people. It's such a beautiful show. If you're listening to this, I want you to take a moment, go onto YouTube when you have a chance, because I would love for you to see some of the visuals of the show that I'm going to be sharing later today. I wanted to speak on one of the themes of this season's podcast that I feel is really important to name, and that is tactical magic. And what I mean by that is magic being brought into the everyday, into moments when it is really needed, knowing that magic is always available to us wherever, whenever, however we are, and that magic has so much to offer us, and that we can learn ways to really incorporate it in quick, easy to do, sometimes overt, covert ways. We can hide our magic. We could do our magic in secret. We could encrypt our magic. There's so much to talk about around this theme. I'm really excited to delve into ways in which I practice with tactical magic in my everyday as we witness the rise of fascism, violence, ignorance in the United States and abroad. It is so important for us to remember that alongside these rising tides of energy, there are also rising energies of consciousness, of clarity, of connection, and yes, of witchcraft and magic as well. This is echoed in the many ways in which witches, queer people, trans people, those who have existed at the margins, people of color, communities of color, we have thrived. We have smuggled our information across time and space, across borders, across dimensions. We will continue to do this in this moment. And this is one of the reasons why I'm really feeling called to center this notion of tactical magic here in season 2. There is so much else that I'm going to also be connecting with throughout this season, but I want this to be the thread that really weaves together the conversations that we're going to be having. And so I want, as you know, I'm here in my hotel in Palm Springs, getting ready to head out to go back to the museum, to bring my camera with me, to show you all the incredible history, the rich, vast webs that have been brought together by the curator, David Evans Friends, of queer and trans people from across time and space who have woven their magic into artworks. To me, art is such a powerful tactical practice, and I'm excited for you to witness these pieces through that lens. So again, we are about to transcend and move into this wonderful exhibition, Queer Arcana. I got a flyer yesterday for the exhibition. This is the artist Now Bustamante's artwork that is featured in the show. And without further ado, I'm excited for us to move through this portal and jump into a queer arcana, art, magic, and spirit. A queer arcana, art, magic, and spirit, currently on view at the Palm Springs Art Museum through October 18th, 2026, is one of the most exciting, emotionally resonant, and genuinely necessary exhibitions I have encountered in a long time. And I want to walk you through it today because I think it speaks directly to what we explore on this podcast. The idea that art is not merely for decoration. It's not just something we do for fun. Art is spellcraft. Art is a technology of the spirit. And for queer artists across more than a century, it has literally been a tool for survival. Organized by David Evans Friends, curator at large for the museum's Q Plus Art Initiative, this exhibition brings together 35 artists and spans works made from 1909 all the way to 2026. Over a century of queer engagement with the occult, with divination, with ritual, with esoteric cosmology. David Franz has said that when he began researching, he quickly discovered the historical linkages between magic, alternative spiritualities, and queer activism and community building are far more wide-reaching than I had ever anticipated. Think about that for a moment. This isn't a niche interest. This isn't a quirky little subcategory of our history. This is a through line. Queer people have been turning to hidden, mystical knowledge, not as escapism, but as a tactical strategy, as a form of world building when the dominant world has refused to hold us. The Palm Springs Art Museum is one of the only institutions with a program specifically dedicated to telling this story. Their Q Plus Art Initiative, which launched in 2023, is described as the only program of its kind dedicated to queer art and artists within a general museum. That is remarkable, and this exhibition is a crowning achievement of that commitment. This exhibition is organized into 6 thematic sections, and each one is its own portal. The first one's called To Kiss the Spirits. The second one is the deck recast. And here we can see some gorgeous tarot cards by our beloved queer ancestor, Rachel Pollack. And then the third section is called Occult Knowledge, and that traces the broader esoteric lineage that runs through queer avant-garde and counter-cultural movements. The fourth section is Magical Americas, and this is a section that I'm in, which I feel so proud of. The fifth section is called Sex Magic, and the sixth section is called Witches Heal, which I feel like honestly I could do an entire episode on. Beyond these 6 sections, there's also an area that has an archive called Out of Your Broom Closets, and this displays magazines and newsletters and books like Women's Spirit and writings by Wiccan priest and activist Dr. Leo Louise Martello. Wow, yeah, I just want to pause here for a second to talk about why I think this exhibition is so significant, not just as an art show, but as a cultural and even therapeutic gesture. There's something so profound about the fact that across more than a century, queer people have independently, repeatedly turned to the same tools: divination, ritual, sigil, cosmology, altered states, sacred eroticism. These are not trends. These are responses to a shared condition. The condition of being told that your way of being does not fit in within the dominant spiritual frameworks of your time. And I just want to pause here and invite you, if you're watching this on YouTube, to take a look here at these people watching my video. It was just so moving for me to have my social practice project, Give Us Home Spider, included in this exhibition. This was a very personal art project for me. I organized a ritual near a cement quarry that is close to my parents' home. I invited 13 witches and healers to join me, and we intuitively created a ceremony on this land. We did not ask for permission. It was not choreographed. It was very emergent. And as you can see, it's super colorful, very playful, very magical. And I feel so honored for this project from 2017 to have been included in this incredible survey show. I really want to invite you to come and see this exhibition and to really take it in person. It's definitely something to see here, or if you're watching online or hearing it on this podcast, I really want to invite you to connect with this exhibition. When I think about us as queer people, when the church has rejected us, or when our families have rejected us, when the law has rejected us, when, we feel rejected as a society, we turn to other things. We turn to each other. We find the tarot. We find the stars. We connect with herbs and with circles and chants and sigils. And I feel like what this exhibition really argues beautifully and rigorously is that for queer artists, this was never just a personal practice. It's always been political. It's been about world making and world building for us. Again, it's about survival. Our lives have depended on these practices. And as someone who works at the intersection of art, healing, and spirituality, I feel this in my bones. Art that reaches towards the unseen is not naive or escapist. It is visionary. It is necessary. It is how we remember that the world can be otherwise. And I love the work by Candice that's been included in this show. And this is artwork by Hilma's Ghosts, who are artists that I was fortunate enough to meet in New York. I'm also going to be in an exhibition coming up later this year with them. Their work is so beautiful. It is channeled. It is divinatory. It is definitely art that helps you enter into a trance. And they not only share this gorgeous painting, but also these banners that they created. I gasped audibly when I first saw these banners when I walked into the room because they were so powerful and held such a sacred presence in the space. There was such a feeling of honoring our queer lineages, our queer ancestors. You could also really feel it in this artwork by T. Corinne. It is so beautiful and really connects us with the body and with the psychedelic. And I was really, really smitten by these paintings by the artist Clarity Haynes. This one is an altar to Laura Aguilar, who, as you may or may not know, has been a big influence on my practice. These paintings are really gorgeous and they speak to altar building ways that we venerate and connect with spirituality in different settings, how we set up our homes or other spaces we inhabit. There's also work by Agnes Pelton, who is such a visionary transcendental painter. There are so many incredible people in this exhibition, including the amazing performance and video artist now Bustamante, who created this piece in honor of our late queer ancestor Walter Mercado. If you grew up as a Latinx person in the 80s and 90s, Walter was always sharing astrological insights to our communities. And this is a beautiful sculptural piece by Nancy Azara and Genesis Porridge. There were two works by them in this exhibition that were so moving to me. Genesis is someone who I've really respected and have been so moved to be included in an exhibition with our beloved ancestor Genesis. And here's some gorgeous, gorgeous work by Elijah Berger. Again, it is such an honor for me, honestly, personally, to be in an exhibition with these artists. I just really want to acknowledge something about the place that we're in. Palm Springs has a long, rich history as being a sanctuary for LGBTQ plus people, a desert place where a queer community has found warmth, beauty, and freedom. And there's just something so cosmologically appropriate about this exhibition being held here. The desert is a place of vision, a place where the veil is thin, and where mystics have gone to receive. The Q Plus Art Initiative at Palm Springs Art Museum is doing something remarkable. They are insisting that queer art histories are not supplemental to art history. They are art history. This exhibition is supported by the Andy Warhol Foundation for the Visual Arts and the Trellis Art Fund, among others, which signals real institutional investment in this work. If you're anywhere near Southern California before October 18, 2026, I am telling you, go and see this exhibition. Bring your tarot deck with you. Bring a friend, go with your questions, come with your grief, with your joy, with your curiosity. And if you can't go in person, sit with the names in this exhibition. Look up Rachel Pollack, who left us in 2023 and whose rich legacy is honored here. Look up Devin Shimoyama and let those rhinestones catch the light in your mind. Look up Austin Osman's spear and think about what it meant for a queer man in 1913 to encode his desires into sacred symbols. Art is a spell, and this exhibition is proof that the spell has been cast across generations, across borders, across every attempt to silence us. It was passed down in paint and glitter and ritual and community, and now it is here on the walls of a museum in the California desert, asking you to receive it. Thank you so much for being here with me today on Your Art is a Spell. And if this episode moved you, please share it with a friend, leave a review, and tell a fellow magic maker about it. Until next time, your art is a spell and it will change your life and the world around us. Bye.